Welcome to Get Into It. I'm your host, Tammy Roman. Now, we have a great show in store for you tonight. Singer-songwriter Jody Watley will be joining us. And you guys do not understand how excited I am about this woman being here. I thought back then that I was Jody Watley Jr. Okay. So I'm happy that she's here, and we're going to be diving into the topic, actually breaking this thing down. Is life better if you are single or married? And later in the show, I'm giving advice to a woman who wants to know if she should give someone a second chance during my Ask Tammy segment. And we'll get into that in just a few. But first, my unpopular opinion. Okay, y'all, we just gonna get into it. I'm not gonna waste no time. Okay, Chrissy Teigen, and we all know Chrissy because her Twitter account be popping, right? Well, recently she told People Magazine that she is teaching her son how to embrace his emotions. Chrissy said, Miles is very emotional. He's a lot like me. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and we embrace that. I think more men should embrace their emotions. I think it's important in this world that it's okay to cry. It's okay to be upset about something or to be sad about something. So we're going to talk it through. And it's okay that there is no be a man in our house. Okay, Chrissy, girl. This is what I got to say about that. I actually commend you for teaching your son to embrace his emotions. I think that, when you're too hard in the other direction of be a man, right, to quote you, that we are faced as women with men who are not expressive enough, who feel like they can't cry because most of their lives they've been told, get up from there, don't cry, wipe them tears away. So I do like the fact that you are teaching your son that it's okay to cry. I said that to say this, though. You still got to have that be a man in there somewhere. Because let me tell you something. My husband, Reggie, I like the fact that he's able to express himself. And if, which he never has, but if he dropped a tear or two or three, after that third one, you got to go get you some tissue. You can't be standing up here crying more than me. I mean, I don't want that, so at the same time, don't let him lose the aspect of being a man. And I know he's a young boy, but you don't want him to be simping out here. Okay? That's what you don't want. Is that every time he turn around, he crying about something. Because when he get with his girlfriend, she going to be like, if you don't get your crying ass out of here, and you don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So he got to be able to teach him balance. Don't skew it so much the other way that he doesn't understand that he is the man and he needs to continue to be the man in his relationship dynamics. He still needs to have that aspect of strength. Now, this is my opinion, okay? This ain't nobody but Tammy's. You're going to raise your kid how you want to raise them, but you don't want no simp. Okay, moving on. So I was watching the after show, right, from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And y'all know how I am about reality TV. I love my reality shows. I'm all up in the Married to Medicines. I'm all up in the Real Housewives of Potomac. It's going to be what it's going to be. And Atlanta's no different. So on the after show, LaToya and Kandi were talking about Drew, right? Getting upset when she thought she was messing around with Prophet Lot. So LaToya said her and her husband are going through a divorce, but he is dating. And she can date if she wants to because they have this understanding. What is happening in the world? Okay? What is going on with these people in their relationships? I'm just trying to get clarity for myself. Because let me tell you what I do know. One thing I know, and two things for sure, is that this creates problems. Because when a man has not ended a relationship properly, You guys are not divorced. That's where you end up with those scenarios where they are dating and the woman is thinking that he's single when he got you still tied by paperwork. I feel like everybody get out of the situations that you are in. There's nothing wrong with taking the time, okay, to clear the slate, have a clean slate. People rush from one relationship to the next. Girl, you ain't figured out what was wrong in the marriage. You ain't came clear and took accountability for what was going on in the relationship that failed. You might want to spend some time with yourself before you move on into another situation, this dating situation that you're entertaining. And I feel like this is simply a no for me. I think everybody, in the event that your relationship, your marriage is over and you decide to get a divorce, then go ahead on and let that be final. Then spend some time with yourself, okay? Getting to know you again before you start dating other people. Because you're going to run up on somebody that you really going to like. They really going to like you. And you're not going to be able to go any further because you're still tied by paperwork. Can y'all handle y'all business? I mean, can y'all just finalize something for once? Because let me tell you what to do, though. If Bravo had sent you a contract and you hadn't signed it, you wouldn't have been on the show, right? The paperwork got to be finalized. Same thing with your divorce. Handle it like that. Handle your business like that. I'm moving on out of this because I could talk about this forever because, you know, I don't like people talking about they separated and all that stuff and then people sleeping around with people's husbands when technically they legally married. Let people get out of that first. Okay, moving on. Nick Cannon and DJ Abby De La Rosa, they announced that they are expecting twin boys. And she shared some cute maternity photos of her and Nick on her Instagram. Now, if I'm not mistaken, now let me think now because I don't want to be lying because I don't want y'all dropping down in the comments saying that I got my information right. But I believe that he just had a baby with Brittany Bella a few months ago. Y'all will let me know if that ain't right. But I do believe that he had a baby with Brittany Bella. Okay. Now, I don't know what type of entanglement, that's a new word. That's entanglement mixed with arrangement. Entangle arrangement. Okay. That Nick has with these women. But his pimp game is strong. Okay. Because I need for the rest of the men in the world to know y'all ain't Nick Cannon. Okay. And you can't get away with this type of stuff. Like you just can't be going around having all of these babies few months apart with different women. You know what I'm saying? Because see that now when the child support come on in and you know, y'all busting out all these babies, you got to understand that you have to be able to pay for them. And if you can't afford them, like a Nick Cannon, who wealthy up one side and down the other, then that may not be the road that you should take. But what I do love is that Nick is very hands-on with all the children in his life. Okay. And he makes sure that they all know each other. He makes sure that the women are okay with each other. You know, they all be taking pictures together. They was all at the baby shower together, sister wives. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I had to clear my throat. But he got them all trained that and I like Nick Cannon. So I know he probably gonna find a way to get to me to express his opinion about this. And that'll be great because Nick come on the show. But I just feel like from an example standpoint, there are a lot of people who look up to Nick Cannon. And if they see that he's able to do this, they may think that this is how it can be done. And I'm here to let you know that it can't. Okay? I'm here to let you know that it cannot. But here again, it's just my unpopular opinion. But I tell you, if I seen a man that done had 3-4 children a few months ago with another chick, potentially 2 chicks before me, I don't know why I would want to have a baby with him. To me, I would be like, well, let me take my time with this and make sure that this is really what I want to do. Because, is he respecting me? Is he respecting our relationship? Is he respecting them? Is he respecting their relationship? Is there a relationship to be respected? Are we all just booty calls, baby making machines? I don't really know what their entangled arrangement is. But how it looks from the outside looking in is that they've all agreed to have children with this wealthy man. And I believe Wendy Williams said one time that's a cash register baby. But I'm not Wendy Williams, so I didn't say it. But this was my unpopular opinion. Now, when we come back, we're going to get into it with Grammy-winning singer and songwriter Jody Watley. And she's chiming in on today's topic of, is it better being single or married? Now, before Jody get here, and before I hear her opinion, I'm going to just go on and throw mine in the ring, okay? I am a relationship girl. I love romance. I love being in a relationship. So for me, I think married life is better because I like to be able to come home and have someone there that understands me, that understands the career that I have, that, for lack of better verbiage, that can be my shoulder to lean on, that I can share all my day's events with, right? Now, it's not that when you're single that you don't have that, because sometimes single doesn't mean by yourself. Single could mean actively dating, and so you still have that companionship with someone that you're interacting with. But I just feel like marriage ties it together. Marriage is the thing that, when you share that information with somebody, hopefully they respect the covenant that you have and that information doesn't go anywhere else. So I like married life better. Are there times that I wish I was single? I was married before. This is my second marriage. And when I got divorced, it was 7 years. It took me 7 years, ladies, to get to a point where I felt like I wanted to be in a relationship again. I went through a lot of therapy as to dealing with why I got divorced. Because when I got married, I always came from the school of thought, being raised as a Muslim, that it was forever. So divorce was very traumatic for me. So I went through a lot of therapy to get through that. And then I finally got to a stage in my therapy of understanding that my divorce wasn't my fault and that I'm a good person. I have a good heart. I am strong. I have a lot to offer the right person in a relationship. But I had to take my time to find the right person. You can't just rush out and start dating a la LaToya, Candy, and Drew and them that I talked about earlier. You can't just go out and start dating everybody and think that it's going to be, that you've spent enough time with yourself. So for me, I like to be married. And I can't wait to hear what Jody Watley thinks, because she was married before too, but now she quotes or touts herself as being happily single. So I want to get into that and find out how she got to that point. And she's absolutely going to be here. Miss Female Empowerment herself. All the Jody Watley songs helped me through something back then when I was going through something. If you don't know, you better go ahead on and hit your Googles now. But Jody Watley is going to be here. I'd love for you guys to stick around, because I don't want to be talking y'all's ear off. We got to get to Jody and get her in this conversation. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. It absolutely is. Get into it with Tammy Roman. Stick around. We'll be back. Welcome back to Get Into It. I'm Tammy Roman. Now, remember, if you want to see more Fox Soul content, please subscribe to their YouTube channel and make sure that you hit the notification button so that you can know what's going on to get all the best updates and new videos and live shows. Don't forget to click the thumbs up and let us know you like what we're putting down. And of course, per usual, drop down in the comment section because we want to know what you're thinking. Now, I've been a fan of this lady since the Shalimar days, and I'm so happy that she's joining us today. As we get into the topic, is life better if you are single or married? This woman is celebrating the 34th anniversary of her Grammy-winning solo debut and mega hits like Looking for a New Love, Don't You Want Me, and Still a Thrill. She is a crossover music icon. Please, if I had a live studio audience, I'd say put your hands together, okay, for the singer and songwriter, Jody Watley.
Hey, Miss Tammy.
I wanted to get through that so bad because I'm so excited, like my hands are shaking.
I'm so happy to be here with you.
Man, listen, let me tell you something right now. I had my tulle skirt, okay, and I had my long weave because you couldn't wear no wigs back in the day. But I had my long weave. I thought I was Jody Watt.
Did you have the hoops?
I had the hoops, and I'm still wearing the hoops. You started way back then. No, listen, I just felt like, from the standpoint of having an African American woman who was out, because when you left Shalimar, people don't know that was a hard decision for you to make. You know, leaving that group, which was very significant and substantial in that time period, and you left. I'm stepping out on my own, and then to blow up the way you did and speak for women. These young kids don't really know what's happening right here, right now.
No, it's true. And, all the blessing. And, I say, God's plan to give me not just the talent, but the determination, the tenacity. And, we got to live life on our terms as much as we can and be happy and joyful. And if something is not working for you, don't be scared, get out there and do something else, try it. You never know unless you get out there and try it.
Listen, you was the first person that said, you know what? I don't want you no more. Okay. I'm looking for somebody new because you did me wrong. Like,
yes.
You was one of the first to say that, in a musical way. That wasn't, like, because we had other female singers that would say, but you put it out there and it crossed over.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you understand what I'm saying?
Looking for a New Love is still a great breakup song. And, when I write songs, I always, try to come from a position of strength. And, I was going through some things then, and it's like, but baby, I'm strong. I'm going to get over you, and it's very empowering still, and the whole hasta la vista, baby, we all know what that means.
We sure do. Now, the topic of the day is life better single or married? Now, you were married back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you still now?
No, I'm long time divorced. I'm single, happily single.
Happily single. See, I love the way you said that. What was the most challenging part of being married?
You know what? Being married is very complex, obviously. I think that people can be together, and if you're committed to each other and you take the word marriage away, because some people get married and they have no commitment, there's no honesty, there's not a lot of things. And so, I learned about myself a lot. And it was one of the great disappointments of my life at the time that the marriage didn't work out. And so it's tough. People who get
and if married, you don't mind my asking, why didn't it work
out? Oh God, that's in the book. It's just, there were so many things. I mean, from just not agreeing on finances, I think he was insecure and intimidated by my strength. So it's important to make sure that you're with someone. And sometimes people flip on you when you get married too.
Get
It's
married.
like the things that they were seem to be okay with, it becomes a resentment factor.
Correct.
And, sometimes, you're bending over backwards to make that person happy and you end up breaking your own damn back. So, and they wouldn't do that for you. So there were just a lot of realizations that it was, infidelity. I mean, it was just a myriad of things.
And the reason why I think that it's important, and that's why I said I hope you don't mind my asking, and thank you for being gracious enough to elaborate, because I think that the young kids today, they don't really understand that the covenant of marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you touched on it. You said commitment, honesty. Like, people nowadays think that marriage is just something that you can do to get the ring, have the big ceremony. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, it's okay. And that's really not what marriage is supposed to stand on.
Right.
So you go into talking about your story and you pointing out those little red flags. I think that women sometimes don't acknowledge the red flags because they want the fantasy
Yes.
of the marriage.
It's so true. It's like, the red flags can be coming at you and you'll make excuses for them or talk yourself out of it, or no, or this will get better. Or maybe if I do more of this, that'll change. Right. And we just talk ourselves into, I call it the dimming of our own light, because we're so busy trying to make the relationship shine. And just doing everything. And I went to therapy for quite some time after. It didn't work out because I actually wanted to learn about myself.
Exactly.
What was it in me that, chose the wrong person and tried so hard to make it work when I knew from the beginning it wasn't going to work.
Okay. And you ignored the signs,
yes.
Which is why you're able to speak on that. Because see, for me, I believed in the fantasy. Yes. I also put so much trust in the person because I always feel like I'm so straight and direct, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm coming to you, giving you all my truth. And so when you say, I love you, I'm in love with you, I want to be your husband, you know what's required because I've been very clear. Yes. And so, I didn't sugarcoat one thing. And then we get into this, we agree to be married. You make this covenant, not just with me, but with God, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And then you don't honor that. And so when I got divorced, Jody, you took a different approach, which I commend, which was, why did I make excuses? I went to therapy because I started from, well, what was wrong with me? So I had to just I had to get to the point of, was nothing wrong. There wasn't anything wrong with me.
Right.
And, and then move into the phase that you started at. And I think some women, we're so hard on ourselves when a marriage doesn't work. But you said you're happily single. What does that really mean?
And, and I want to go back and touch upon something. Also, sometimes when you have children, it's like when I was pregnant, my ex-husband, he really didn't find me attractive, and maybe never found me attractive. And so when you have children, that changes.
I don't understand that.
That changes, and that's really heartbreaking in itself. And then also when you get with someone and they have children already, you may not agree on the parent raising, and you got stepkids throwing you under the bus. And so there's just so many things. And so, since that time, I've, dated and whatnot, but I think it's important for women to know you have to love yourself first, be comfortable in who you are. And so you won't settle and find yourself in unhealthy situations, and learn how to enjoy your own company. It'll keep you out of bad company.
I say it all the time. Listen, you got to love you first before you can expect someone else to love you. I literally say, I am at a point now in my life where I love my own company. I don't, like if I was never with another person, I'd be okay with that. And this conversation is getting so good. I don't want to end this because I do want to find out, what did you learn from your previous relationship that you're taking into new relationships, as well as what is happily single? So we'll be right back. Jody Watley's going to fill us in on that. It's getting good, y'all. This is Get Into It with Tami Roman. Welcome back to Get Into It. I'm Tami Roman, and I'm talking to Grammy-winning singer and songwriter Jody Watley. When we left off, I said to Miss Jody, what did you learn in your previous relationships that you now are taking into your new situations and or not taking into them, as well as what is happily single?
I think taking more of a Tami Roman approach, be very clear up front, because sometimes, because you want to make it work. And sometimes, we might not be as honest as we should be. And notice the signs from the get-go. And I learned, there's no perfect anyone, but if you see something that, that seems kind of suspect or sketchy, pay attention, because your instincts are always right. Instincts do not lie.
I literally just said, that's the greatest asset that any person walking has, are your instincts.
Yes.
They're there for a reason. My grandma would say, you know, that's the Lord talking to you. That's the Holy Spirit trying to let you know. But really and truly, that's what we have to rely on. And we know when something is not right. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And we need to stop acting like it's a chicken.
Right. No, that's true. That's just 100% the truth. So, save yourself a lot of time and heartache, by like you said, trying to go for what you think is a fantasy, or this time I know this is going to be the one and I'm going to make it work. But you feel like, no, there's just something, And if he ever asks you, can he drive your car? Tell him no. And look at that. No, that's a bad sign.
Remember that, ladies, please. No keys to the car. Now, what is happily single, and do you plan to stay single?
It's just really being at ease, being at ease and comfortable in my own skin, in my own house, and having the freedom to come and go and do what I want, and not feel like, well, if I'm not in a relationship, oh my God, like something must be wrong with me, or is my Mr. Right ever going to come, or woe is me, or it's being comfortable with the now and where it is. And shall he present himself, and, billionaire, houses around the world, he just pops in every now and again. I might look at that.
Now, you don't put any pressure on yourself, but do your family and friends put pressure on you to be in a relationship? Like, hey, girl, find somebody, settle down. Are they doing that to you?
No, they know me better than that, and, and it's funny because I joke, because I watch Forensic Files, and I always say, look, I'm not trying to end up on Forensic Files, because he seemed like he was cool. And then the next thing I know, what happened to Miss Jody? And it was the wrong one. And it was a Fatal Attraction or something like that. So, it's like, I love basketball. It's like, let the game come to you and see, if it feels right. But, I'm always open in life, just like with my music, and my other business ventures. It's like you have to continue to learn and be open, not be closed-minded, because you never know. Usually when you're not looking for something, and it will present itself.
Absolutely. You said something that resonated with me, which was enjoying the here and now.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of people miss that because they're so focused on their desire, right? Most women are maternal enough and appreciate human contact enough that it's like their desire and their vision for themselves is this relationship that hasn't presented itself, but they're thinking about it down the road. and they're missing all this good stuff that's happening right here and right now, and just, you know, giving yourself room to breathe, you know. And I feel like that's a detriment to most women, because they're not allowing themselves to enjoy the fruits of what's planted right in front of them.
And you know, and that's true. And to not get further ahead of yourself or lamenting on, you know, what was or could have been. It's like, now, my latest song, The Healing, it's like, now is what we have. It's what we make of life now. And where we go from here, and just, you know, being able to enjoy it and not feeling the pressure also of your friends or your family. Well, you know, when you're going to get married again, or, you know, when you're going to have some kids, you know, girls get that pressure, young girls get that too. And not everything is for everybody. And you have to live for yourself and no one else, because no one else is living and walking in your stilettos. Yeah,
exactly. Now, really quickly, do you feel being single is better than being married?
For me. For now.
So what I'm gathering, Jody, is you want to be able to say, hey, you busy? I'm gonna slide through. Then we get painful. You get on down the highway, sir. I'm busy now. Yeah. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting.
That's probably it, because, you know, also when you are on your own, when you are single for a while, it's hard to adapt to. It's like somebody being in the house. It's like, well, you know, it's nice seeing you, can go home now. It just, you know, now I like my space. Yeah. You know, it's a different mindset. And so it's like when I wrote in Real Love on my second album, accept no substitutes, always go for the real thing. And so it's like what that is for you at any given time. You know, I mean, you know, I think about, I have so many songs. It's like the theme of love and relationships, my album Intimacy, you know, honesty, intimacy, and also not just expressing yourself, but making sure that person hears you. It's like, but do you hear me? We're talking, but do you hear me? And vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love this, because, you know, a lot of African Americans don't believe in therapy. And what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, you said you went through therapy after divorce. What I'm seeing sitting in front of me is just a strong, powerful woman who's secure in who she is and knows what she wants. And I think, you know, like you said, your music and your songs, if anybody wants to go back and be uplifted and empowered, they could look to any Jody Watley lyric. that's what you've done. And so, you know, and I just, you know, I want to give you your flowers now, because, you know, I'm trying to find the right words, because I want to present it eloquently. We're constantly looking for representatives and constantly identifying with people outside. And there's so many people who have been putting in the work, grinding, putting out the positive messages, the positive imagery, and you are one of those people. So I just want to say, people, if you want to be empowered, if you want to be uplifted, this woman, I just want to give her flowers now. Y'all better go find y'all some Jody Watley songs, okay? All of them, because you in every field of music. I'm saying, right?
Yes, you know, I cover all genres through the decades, for past and present. You know, R&B, pop, you know, hip hop with Eric B and Rakim, house music, underground electronica. There's something for every mood that you have, past and present, and it's all on all digital platforms. So go make your playlist, download it, is always best. But yeah, and you know, and on my social media, I always shared, you know, what I'm doing now, and also Throwback Thursday classics and whatnot.
Oh, I love it. And all your social media is Jody Watley?
Yeah. Yeah. And all pages are verified. So don't fall for the fakes.
And y'all know better than that. If you don't see that blue check, you know that ain't no damn Jody Watley. Listen,
with Jody Watley with 2 followers. No, that ain't my page. Stop it.
Stop it, please. Jody, thank you so much for joining me. This really meant a lot to me. We put out the request, and you just being gracious enough to come and do this with me. I completely am humbled and appreciative.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I love you. Love everything, your evolution, your honesty always. I'm a big fan of Bonnet Chronicles too.
Thank
so
you.
Always get into it in the gay rock. Yes. I love it. Yes, I love it. So I love you, and just continued success to you. And it was my pleasure and honor to be here with you today.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jody. You guys, please go follow Miss Jody Watley. And like she said, download the music. Okay. Don't be just putting it on your playlist. Go get you some Looking for a New Love, because I'm telling you, all those lyrics is what you're going through right now. You'll be able to recover. Yes. Up next is my Power Minute. It's right around the corner, and I have some advice for all of you complainers out there. Plus, my Ask Tammy is coming up. Should we give people a second chance? I don't know, child, how you feel about it, but that's next on Get Into It, Fox Soul. Welcome back to Get Into It. I, of course, am Tammy Roman, and this is one of my favorite parts of the show because it's where I get to hear from you. So let's see if I can help this woman out.
Hey, Tammy, how you doing? So here's my situation. So I was dating this guy long distance for about 1.5 years. At first, everything was great, constant telephone calls, visits, things of that nature. Towards the end of our relationship, however, he just started to, become more distant. The visitations, had stopped, being more frequent. He is a promoter, so he would always like, oh, I have an event, always something. So I then decided to break it off because, I don't have time. I require lots of attention, so therefore it just wasn't working for me. Well, now let's fast forward 1 year later, and now he is trying to come back into my life. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I realized I made a mistake. You're the best thing ever happened to me. There's nobody else like you, blah, 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 all that jazz. But, I'm extremely hesitant. Within this last year or so, I've made some extreme changes to my life. I'm, gone through my whole healing process. I have worked on just being more intentional about who I allow in my space and my energy. And I kind of also feel like if you didn't realize I was the one the first time around, I don't know if I want to give you a second chance, because I am not second choice. I am not a consolation prize. I am the prize. So I want to know, do you think I should give him a chance? Like, so far, it's just talk, no action. So that's another big deterrent for me. But, let me know, what do you think? Should I give love a chance again, or should I, move on to the next? Thanks so much, Tammy.
Well, I'm sitting here wondering what advice you need, because you gave your damn self the advice you need to hear. Listen, here's the thing, ladies. A lot of times we have our desires of wanting to be in a relationship, and our decisions are guided by that desire, right? What I love about this video that I just need her to recognize is she's not being guided by her desire to have a relationship. She has recognized that she's cream of the crop, right? She said it herself. So when he circles back, you don't need to be interested in that. You said yourself, I am not second best. I am not a consolation prize. That's actually the advice that I would have given you. I'm wondering why you aren't wasting my time on my screen. There's people out there that really need some help. Okay. And it ain't ain't you. Listen, baby girl, and for all of you other ladies out there, you know what you have to offer. You know what value you have and what your worth is. And if somebody is incapable of recognizing that when they approach you or come into your midst the first time, there should be no second chances. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for that as women anymore, because we know what we bring to the table. And I want to say this, men sometimes play games. He done got out in these streets, okay? And he saw that he ain't as cute as he thought he was. And he ain't as financially stable as he thought he was. And then he remembered, old gal used to really like me like that. So let me holler at her and see if I still got it. He can get on down the line. And you know most promoters are shady, okay? You know, it's been a couple that I done had to curse out by my bread. You know, they be shady. You don't need to waste time with this. I think that you've got your head on your shoulders. I think that you've come through done a lot of introspective work, and there's no need to do any retrospective actions. I think keep moving forward on the road that you on, baby girl, and find you somebody who, or Allah, don't find nobody. That sometimes it comes when we're not looking. Let the right person come into your space that is going to recognize what you have to offer, what value there is in you, love you from the minute they lay eyes on you. And that's all I got to say about it. That's all I got to say about it, because I don't think I ever gave nobody no second chance. You know, as I'm thinking right now, I don't think I ever gave nobody other than my ex-husband. I gave him a couple chances, and then I had to realize that was the pure damn fool, and I had to get on out of there. But in terms of dating someone, if it didn't work the first time, I gets on down the highway, and that's the exact thing that you should do. Now, everybody else out there, because she done wasted my time. She knew what the answer was to that question when she sent it in. If you want some advice on your relationship, your family, because some of y'all families got some drama and you might need a little help navigating through it, or a personal issue, please send me a video. Email it to asktammy@foxsoul.tv, and I will do my best, okay, to give you this wisdom, this knowledge, and these gems, okay? Ask Tammy. Don't forget. Up next, if you are someone you know is always complaining about something, you don't want to miss today's Power Minute. It's going down right after this.
Hey, sis, say, bruh, dig this here. You're going to have to get on down the highway with all this complaining, this negativity, this anger, this animosity, this hatred, this detrimental ass mindset. Because what you're not about to do is suck the life out of me and drain my energy and try to steal my joy. I'm not going to let you leech off of me, okay? You're going to go on now. You're going to make me rebuke you up there and block you down here. Get into it. Listen, because stress is a sickness, and I'm not going to let you kill me. Here's the thing. People that aren't happy with themselves, they cannot be happy for you, okay? And what you dwell on, what you hang with, you will eventually become, and ain't nobody got time for that, okay? I'm just telling it the truthful way. That's the only way I know how to do it. Listen, you can't litter negativity everywhere and then wonder why you got a trashy ass life. People just gonna start walking away. They're not gonna call you. They're not gonna write no letter. They're not gonna put up no subliminal post. They're not gonna say. They just gonna get in the wind. They're gonna get on down the highway, and you got to get back with all that. Ain't nobody interested.
Okay, I hope that Power Minute helps somebody out in these streets. I'm not gonna let you leech off of me. You're gonna go somewhere with that negative energy. But listen, I had so much fun today. I want to thank you all for hanging with me, and thanks again to the beautiful Jody Watley for joining me and breaking down my topic today. Don't forget to send me your Ask Tammy videos. In case you forgot the email address, it's asktammy@foxsoul.tv. And I'll see you here next week. Stay tuned for Fox Soul Screening Room with Vivica Fox. That's coming up next.